So there you are watching a superhero movie with your 9-year-old daughter, and then she turns to you and says, "What is porn?" Well, instead of flipping over the bowl of popcorn and screaming at the top of your lungs, "What did you say?" Is there a better way to handle that? I think there is. Let's talk about that today on Tips on Teens. My name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I specialize in helping kids, teens, and families live happier lives. I lead 2 organizations, Teen Therapy Center and the nonprofit 501c3 organization, Child and Teen Counseling, both here in Woodland Hills, California. And every Wednesday at noon, I jump onto Facebook Live to answer your parenting questions. Let's talk about today's. I made the mistake of watching a PG-13 movie with my 9-year-old daughter the other day. It was a Marvel movie, and I was watching it with her, so I thought we'd be pretty safe. In the movie, however, one of the characters makes reference to watching porn, and my daughter asked what it is. I was able to say, it's just an adult joke. She seemed satisfied, but I regretted that it came up. I don't want to lie to her, and I want to make sure she's prepared, but it caught me off guard. I don't want her to stumble onto pornography herself. How do I have this conversation with her? Thank you for your question. I think this resonates with a lot of people. I think this is going to be a conversation you're going to be having with your child throughout her entire childhood and maybe even to adulthood. Now, I think talks and conversations about sex should be had with your children at all ages. Now, the conversation you have with your 4-year-old may be different than your 9-year-old and may also be different than your 16-year-old. But those are all important conversations to have. The first and foremost thing is you get to control how you talk about this. You get to control the environment. You can control your tone, which is really important. Are you coming at it from a place of anxiety and fear and discomfort, or is your tone calm, curious, respectful, confident? That's going to help lead your daughter or your son or your child, whoever that may be, into following your lead. Even if they're uncomfortable, even if you're uncomfortable, it's important that you get comfortable, because if you can't get comfortable, they definitely won't be comfortable, and then they're not going to talk to you. It's important that you have some comfort, because ultimately, and I say this many times in our videos, when your kid is 16, you want her to be able to talk to you in a way that she feels safe to talk to you about sex, because she may be in way over her head, and you don't want her leaning on her 16-year-old friends. You want her leaning on you, the safe place, because you're hopefully the safest place for her to be. So have the conversation about sex, and sex is a very wide topic. It's not just the biology, it's not just the anatomy, it's also about respect and dignity and consent and trust and all those things. And those are things that I think are really important to talk about. In regards to talking to your 9-year-old about porn, it's important to, if your kid is on the internet, they are likely to stumble onto porn on accident. Now, again, I encourage you to have, safety restrictions on all the devices, phones, computers, iPads, everything. But even just if they're on Xbox and they're playing a game, there's going to be people who are saying things that are inappropriate. It's just the nature of online gaming. And you'll say, but it's Minecraft. Yes, on Minecraft. But there are little kids. I know, but other little kids have older siblings and they're exposed to it. So your kid is going to be exposed whether you like it or not. Now, you can limit the exposure, and I encourage you to limit the exposure. But also, arm your child with information of what porn is. Porn is an exaggerated, display of what sex is in real life. It's, there's special effects, there's photoshopping, there's makeup, there's, it's not real. It's like superhero movies are not real, but superhero movies generally are not going to have a negative impact on your kids' self-esteem, how they see the world. It's not like a scary movie. If your child saw a really scary movie before they're ready to see a scary movie, that could be really traumatizing. But if they were older, they'd be more prepared for it. So I think it's really important that you talk to your children about what sex is, what your values are, what you want your child's values to be, and being open to have a conversation, and also acknowledging that sexual curiosity is normal, even for a 9-year-old. It is normal for a 9-year-old to be curious about sex. It's everywhere. You drive down Ventura Boulevard, and almost every other billboard or bus sign is some model or actor who's being objectified sexually. So they're being exposed to it. They're going to be exposed to it at school, online. The more we talk about it in a safe, comfortable, curious way, I think is beneficial. Also, I think it's important to provide your children what you believe are going to be age appropriate and value appropriate material about sex and a developing body and consent and dignity and all those things. It's normal to be curious about what genitalia is and what it feels like. There's a lot of little kids who grab themselves, don't even realize they're doing it. That is normal, and if they're going into, later elementary years and, they're going to have questions and curiosity. So it's really important, again, talk to your kids, be the safe place. You don't have to do it perfectly. You don't have to know every answer. You can always say, you know what, I don't have an answer for that right now. Let me look into this and I'll get back to you. And then get back to them. Follow through on your word. It's really uncomfortable to talk about this stuff, especially if you didn't get to talk to your parents about this and you weren't taught how to talk about this in a comfortable, safe way. But you can do it. Talk to other people who have done it. Talk to a therapist. Read books. Read online articles. There's a lot of information about this very topic. So forewarned, or forearmed is forewarned, or whatever that phrase is. But make sure your kids are educated. Again, last thing, the more real education your kids have on sex and all the things around sex, the more likely they will be to make healthier and more cautious decisions about their sex life as they go into their adolescence and adulthood. Anyways, that's our question for today. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Kent Toussaint with Teen Therapy Center and Child and Teen Counseling. If you have a question you'd like me to answer here on Tips on Teens, email us at tipsonteens@teentherapycenter.com or direct messages right here on Facebook. You can also catch us on YouTube and Instagram. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next Wednesday at noon. Bye-bye.